Imagine waking up to the sound of ocean waves. But the beach beneath your balcony isn't a public tourist trap. It belongs to you. Every grain of sand, every palm tree, every square inch of this paradise is part of your inheritance. You are born into a world of absolute, unapologetic privilege. Your crib costs more than the annual salary of the men patrolling the outer gates. To the outside world, your father is a successful agricultural export tycoon. He flies in private jets, shakes hands with governors, and donates millions to build local churches. But you aren't stupid. Even as a child, you notice the details. Legitimate businessmen don't have men standing outside their bedroom doors, carrying submachine guns under their designer suits. Legitimate businessmen don't receive midnight visitors who leave through the back door carrying heavy, taped-up duffel bags. On your 8th birthday, there are no clowns, no magicians, and no singing. Your father calls you into his private study. The air smells heavily of tobacco, leather, and old money.
I want this done by the end of the day. No excuses.
He kneels down, places his heavy, calloused hands on your shoulders, and looks straight into your soul. He gives you a rule you will never forget. Trust no one outside these walls. In this life, a slip of the tongue doesn't mean a lecture. It means a funeral. You grow up behind a literal and psychological fortress. The locals treat your family like royalty, or like gods.
Thank you, sir. We are so grateful.
They fear your father, but they love his money. He builds their schools, pays for their medicines, and settles their disputes. You learn early on that the state doesn't rule this territory. Your family does. By the time you turn 16, the isolation starts to suffocate you. You have millions in the bank, access to anything you could ever desire, but you are a prisoner in a golden cage. You want to feel real adrenaline. You want to see what happens when you step outside the boundaries. You take the keys to your father's newest high-performance sports car. Bribe the gate guard with a wave of your hand and smash the gas pedal down. You ride out into the real world, completely blind to the truth. Completely blind to the fact that actions outside the cage have devastating, bloody consequences.
This is the best day ever! Ever!
The wind in your face is the first real thing you've felt in years. No guards, no walls, no ghosts watching your every move. You are flying down the coastal highway, the engine screaming under your foot. You feel like a god. You think you're in total control, but control is an illusion when you've never driven outside a private track. You round a blind curve at 100 miles an hour, and reality hits you like a brick wall. A rusted pickup truck, overloaded with fruit crates, is idling right in the middle of your lane. Your brain freezes. Your hands lock up on the steering wheel. You slam on the brakes, but Your tires just screech, burning rubber against the hot asphalt. Time slows down to a sickening crawl.
We have to stop!
You see the terrified faces looking back at
Slow
you.
down, we're gonna die!
The impact is deafening. Metal twists, glass shatters, and the wooden crates detonate into a cloud of splinters. You step out of your ruined car, your legs shaking so hard you can barely stand. Your heart is hammering against your ribs. You look into the ditch. The truck is a mangled heap of steel. People are hurt. Your mind spirals into total panic. You think your life is over. You expect sirens. You expect the police, but the first things to arrive are two familiar black SUVs. Los Fantasmas, they didn't lose your tail, they just gave you space. They don't check on the victims. They grab you by the arm and throw you into the back seat. By the time you get home, the machinery of your father's empire is already moving. In his study, no one is yelling at you. Your father is calmly packing a leather briefcase with stacks of cash. The local police chief stands by, nodding like a faithful dog. By morning, the accident disappears. The police reports are completely erased. The hospital bills are paid in cash, and the survivors are quietly relocated to another province. You learn the ultimate truth of your world: laws are for the poor. Your formal education ends the day you turn 18. Your formal education ends the day you turn 18. Your father doesn't send you to a prestigious business school across the ocean. Instead, he drops you directly into the mud. Your classroom is a hidden jungle airstrip, and your professors are battle-hardened soldiers. You start at the very bottom, working midnight logistics and loading planes. You count inventory and memorize smuggling routes under the damp heat of the canopy. You learn the precise math of the trade. How much to pay a customs official, which police captains are on the payroll, and which ones are too terrified to care.
Fresh mangoes, 2 pounds for 5.
Once you prove you can keep your mouth shut, you graduate to collections.
Watch your step, please.
You ride shotgun with the veterans to visit a local restaurant owner.
Until we reach the car.
He has been skimming profits from the family's local gambling ring. You expect a massive shootout, but what you witness is much more chilling. There is no screaming. The veteran simply places a beautiful, mother-of-pearl handled machete on the table. He orders a coffee and explains that loyalty is a fixed rate, but fingers are negotiable. The shopkeeper pays every single cent immediately, weeping with gratitude. That's when the ultimate business model clicks in your head. Terror isn't chaotic, it's basic economics. You supply the absolute fear, and they demand the mercy. It is clean, efficient, and highly profitable. 6 months later, your final exam arrives. A low-level courier is caught stealing from a shipment. Your father doesn't handle it. He sends you to an abandoned warehouse. He hands you the exact same mother-of-pearl machete your grandfather used and locks the door. Your stomach heaves. Your hands start to shake violently as you look into the eyes of a man begging for his life. But you look up at the shadows, knowing your father's top enforcers are watching from the balcony. In this world, hesitation is a terminal diagnosis. You take a deep breath and you step forward. When you step out into the morning sun, the shaking is gone. You have graduated from the University of Violence. In our business, retirement isn't something you plan for. It's something forced upon you. It happens on a rain-slicked Tuesday morning. A rival cartel from the north hits your father's heavily armed convoy on a narrow mountain pass. They don't just kill him. They send a brutal message. They return pieces of your father back to the estate in separate, unmarked delivery boxes. The message is clear: the old regime is over and your empire is open season. Your father's funeral is an absolute parade of hypocrites. Corrupt politicians cry crocodile tears for the news cameras. Rival bosses send massive floral arrangements while secretly sharpening their blades.
Timing is too perfect. We need to investigate.
Everyone is crying, but behind closed doors, everyone is calculating. The empire is bleeding. The wolves are circling, and the biggest threat is the rivals. It's your own blood. Your older brother claims the throne by birthright. Your uncle claims it by experience. And your sneaky cousin is already selling out secrets to the northern enemy.
Follow me.
But they underestimate you.
You hear me?
They still see you as the quiet boy from the nursery. You realize that to win a civil war, you don't need to be the loudest monster, just the most patient. First, you anonymously tip off the DEA about your cousin's multi-million-dollar smuggling shipment. He is killed in the federal raid, keeping your hands technically spotless. Next is your uncle. A precisely placed car bomb turns his morning commute into a fiery inferno. Naturally, everyone assumes the Northern Cartel pulled the trigger. Your hands remain clean. Finally, your older brother. You invite him to a private estate for a peace summit to divide the territory.
I am here.
He shows up with hope in his eyes, thinking his little brother is begging for mercy. You don't even look him in the eye. You stand by the window, calmly sipping your espresso. You watch the rain fall as your personal guards handle the paperwork. One clean shot. By Christmas, you are the last man standing. You sit down in your father's heavy leather chair. The scent of his cologne still lingers in the room. You have won the crowns. You are El Jefe. But to save the empire, you had to become the ultimate monster. You are the boss of bosses now, and the game has only just begun. The next 10 years are your golden age. You don't count your money anymore, you weigh it by the ton. Your empire stretches across 3 countries, managed by high-priced corporate accountants. You own lawyers, judges, and a network of corrupt senators who attend your private parties.
Thank you all for coming to a successful partnership. Cheers!
You begin to believe your own myth. You look in the mirror and you don't see a criminal. You see a god. And that exact arrogance is what blinds you to the rot. When your closest advisors warn you about a rising threat, you call them weak and fire them. You stop watching the shadows.
This is unacceptable.
You stop
I said
respecting the
get
rules
out.
of the game. You get comfortable at the top, unaware that a new kind of monster is digging beneath your foundation. Your new enemy doesn't look like your father's rivals. A corporate super cartel has taken over. They don't fight with street soldiers. They fight with elite logistics experts and tech executives. They deploy brilliant hackers who can drain your hidden bank accounts with a single keystroke. While you were busy admiring your reflection, they were quietly purchasing your entire territory. The collapse doesn't announce itself with a loud explosion. It arrives in absolute silence. You wake up in the middle of the night to find your phones are completely dead. Your security feeds are total static. Your internet is down. Silence is the ultimate warning. By dawn, your entire empire is turned to ash. They hit everything simultaneously. Your warehouses are raided, your assets frozen, and your guards walk away because they've been bought out. Your corrupt politicians block your calls. Everything you built in 20 years vanishes in 12 hours. You grab a single duffel bag of cash, a fake passport, and run through the service tunnels. But you don't make it to your boat. Lost in a coastal slum, you are cornered by common street thieves. You try to scream, "Do you know who I am?" But they just laugh. They see a broken old man. They beat you, take your cash, and leave you to crawl into the freezing mud of the mangrove swamp. As the darkness creeps into your vision, your final thought isn't about your lost billions. Your last thought is your father's disappointed face from your 7th birthday. You spent your entire life trying to make him proud, and now you are dying alone in the filth. You learn the final, brutal lesson of the trade far too late. In this world, power is only borrowed. It is never owned.